It took me hours. But I finally got it ready to go, and I can control it like this. Lights on, let's drive on, drivers. But I need your help, all right? I have more than a few questions. So let me tell you what's happened with this, and then automators, you can help me out. So I just spent like the last 2 hours outside playing with my Yarbo, and I kid you not, guys from all over the neighborhood just started coming up and they're talking to me about what's going on. They want to see the tractor, and one guy brought his kid over, and another guy just said, "Damn right," as he went by. So I've just had a very good experience. But what I'm talking about is Yarbo, and if you've never heard of Yarbo, it's a giant system of lawnmower, snowblower, plow. There's a security camera if you want with it. And all of this is kind of packaged into little accessories that you can attach to the main unit, which is more or less like it's a tank. So yes, I've had a very good experience, but I tell ya, it was a bit of a struggle. So, I got a ton of boxes earlier this year. I didn't even know what I had. And so I went out there last week because my grass was getting long and time to get this dealt with. And I would have done it in the winter, but we didn't actually have any good snowfalls for a while, so I couldn't use the snowblower component. I get all these things unboxed, and I mean, it took me hours. Holy crapola. This is nuts. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. God, there's a lot. Hold on. There was so much stuff around. There's so much foam still in my garage. I got rid of all the cardboard and everything, and actually they did a pretty good job of packaging things, but like there was so much going on. At the end of that 2 hours, I'm pretty wiped. But I want to continue. I'm really excited because I've seen this thing, and it looks incredible. Like, it looks like, and I said it before, a tank, but like in bumblebee color. So I'm excited because, well, I watched Transformers when I was like 8, and I just dated myself. But now I've got to figure out what to do with all this stuff. And, the core accessories box, there's a lot in that box. I really can't figure out, because I've got all these different components, like what I have to start with. I figure it's the main unit, but what else do I got to do? Well, actually, there's kind of 3 big tasks to take on. At first, you've got to put on antennas on the device. You've got to change out the side panel that's on the tracks. Well, they say that's optional, but like put on a metal one versus a plastic one. I want the metal one on my tank. I want it to survive the fire. Then there's the big docking station. Now that thing is big. Like, it's my table size here. They're talking about you got to put it out. You got to put it outside. And I'm going, I don't want to put this thing outside. I want it in the garage. I want to look at it. The third component was the core accessories, and there's the little components like the antennas and stuff to put on the tractor, and you got to put the battery inside the core unit, and inside of that was a controller, which is basically an Xbox controller, and that's what I was just out there using to drive around. And the nice thing is, Yarbo did have a lot of videos for what you were trying to do. Like, they've already produced a great set of tutorials, and that's normally something I would enjoy producing. So I'm just sitting there kind of going through it step by step. But then I get it set up in the app, and I gotta tell you, like, the app, it looks pretty cool. We're charging right now because I was just out there playing. And on it, oh look, it's done charging. Like, it went 25% down over that 2 hours I was out there driving it around, and now it's back up to 100%. And it knows the lawnmower components on there. So like, this thing's cool. It's cool, okay? Once it's connected to the app, right up here, it says, see how it says Halo? I got no GPS signal. I got Halo right now, but it's coming in and out. And that's because the controller, or the radio, or the antenna unit, this gigantic thing, it's supposed to go in your yard. So I've got this gigantic thing in my hand, and I've attached all the antennas, and everything kind of looks fine. But then I notice at the bottom it says PoE. So it's power over Ethernet, and there's no other power port. There's nothing else that you can power this with. And by the way, there's no other way to connect to it. So what they want you to do is they want you to run an Ethernet cable, and they give you this Ethernet cable, but they want you to run it out to this set of antennas in a giant box that's got to sit out in your yard. They want it away from your home, so they actually give you like some poles that you're kind of supposed to push it out, or they give you a few different orientations. But as I realize this, well, now I'm going, I think I gotta put a cable through a wall to install this. And guys, this thing is so awesome. It's way too big for this house. Like, it's just, it's so much machine, and it's taking up half of my garage. Like, it's a 20 by 20 foot garage, and the thing is out halfway. So I can either have a car and a car in there, or a car and a Yarbo and all of its stuff. No, I kind of don't want the car anymore. But now I'm going, okay, if I'm gonna keep this thing, I've got to put this pole in the middle of the yard, or I've got to attach it to my house. I've got to run this cable. I've got to drill through my garage, likely, to get this cable into my garage. So that's the question I want to pose to you. What would you do? What would you do in this situation? Would you keep it, or would you maybe hand it off to a family member? Or what are you going to do with this? Because I tell you, it's quite the machine, but I'm not sure it's going to work for me long term if I don't put it outside. My three options in my head are put it outside, attach it to my home, and then fish a cable through the attic or something like that to get it to the first Ethernet port I have in my house, which is not going to be pretty. Number two, just put it kind of just outside the garage, maybe put it on a fence or on a pole in the middle of the yard, and then run that cable into my garage where I do have a network switch and PoE capability. Or number three, just try it in the garage. Leave that unit in the garage. Like right now, I got Halo connectivity. And actually there's a fourth option. Like, I could use this thing manually and just drive it around every time I need it. I mean, that was way more fun than ever cutting the lawn. Mind you, it did take me a lot longer to do it because it's an Xbox controller. But that's maybe option 4, is just use this thing, use it manually. It's still, I'm not having to do really any work. And I mean, I'm sure I can pay some kid to do it. Plus, I can do all the neighbors. Like, as I was out there, one of the neighbors was like, yeah, come on over, do mine. So yeah, we did it. Right? And at 25% with all that time cutting the lawn. So the thing is a machine. So maybe it'll work. I'm not sure. I'm obviously excited about this thing because it was so cool. And I am so cool to the neighbors now. But what do you think? What do you think we do? Thanks for watching. Live smart. I don't know.